always Positive J, in a faraway land somewhere else in Ohio, my main man, Ryan Mosser. And he's
How
got
we
a
doing,
whole new
buddy?
segment I can't wait to unleash to you guys today called Rise Guys, where we're going to be focusing on players that are going to be anywhere from the second to the seventh round. And it's Ryan's diamonds in the rough in all these rounds. And I can't wait to hear what he's got to say. We are, of course, on the Big Play Network and brought to you by Greeny Sports Now. And Ryan, I'm going to let you go right now. We're excited. We are launching another contest with them.
Yeah, dude. So today, actually, just about an hour ago, we launched a new contest on our Twitter page at VTL_pod. We are giving away, courtesy of Greeny Sports Card. We're very grateful for them. A Mint PSA 10, which is a perfect grade Prism Darius Garland rookie card. So it's beautiful, and there's no purchase or anything. All you have to do is go on our Twitter, follow Greenies, follow us, and just follow the rules on there. It's pinned on our page, and you can get, in about a month or so, you can possibly win this card. It's really, really awesome. I'm really grateful for Greenies for sponsoring.
Yeah, it's an awesome card. Always love Greenies. And if you get a chance, get out to any of their shows. You can always follow Greeny Sports on Twitter and pretty much any other social networks. We'll talk more about them later.
Yeah, the cool thing about the card is, it's the second All-Star appearance, so it's just going to go up in value the better he plays. So, really, really cool opportunity to possibly just get a nice card that can be valuable.
Yeah, I mean, after they win the championship this year,
right.
It's even going to go up more. But we'll be talking some Cavs some more later. But
oh yeah,
I don't know if y'all knew this, but some news broke from the last show till now. And first, I go to bed Saturday, and I'm like, ain't nothing on. There's some sports going on. I wake up Sunday morning, and I'm like, wait, is that real? Luka Doncic got traded to the Lakers? Like, really? I'm like, wow, that's crazy. I feel bad for the Mavs fans. Who saw this coming? And things got a little more real here at home for all us Browns fans. And the huge news that just came out is Myles Garrett, he wants out.
Yeah.
And frankly, it looks like no one, all Browns fans, are kind of on his side. I mean, Ryan, how do you feel about this announcement from Myles Garrett? You got his shirt on tonight, so you're clearly making a statement with that.
Yeah, I'm highly upset. I mean, I've been critical of Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski for 3 seasons now, and I've been ridiculed and called stupid and this and that. But the fact of the matter is, I feel worse right now than I do with Hugh Jackson in charge. At 1-31, I feel worse now than I see no future. At least then we were at our bottom, and we saw our pieces that were coming together, and we were excited for the future. We're in cap prison right now. Our best player, our next Hall of Fame player, wants out. He's done. He sees no future with us, and we're just stuck in a purgatory of cap hell. It's awful. It's awful, dude. It's not fun. I think Andrew Berry made the trade for Watson, and we all know that is just the biggest, probably the worst trade in sports history. It's awful, and to guarantee the contract as well. And now your best player wants out. If we do trade him, I don't trust Andrew Berry to make those picks. I don't. I think he got us in this mess. Why would we continue to trust this man who has just brought nothing but bad things, man? It's just nothing has panned out. I could see the visions here and there, but the smartest guy in the room has proven that it doesn't work out, man. And I'm tired of it. I'm over it. I side with Myles Garrett. I don't blame him for wanting out. I would want out too. And it's unfortunate for Browns fans who are the most loyal fan base in all of sports. I wholeheartedly believe that. I mean, we've gone through everything and we're still here. But now I can see the tides turning a little bit, and it looks like more fans are on the player side and not really on the team side, and that's really interesting. And I just I don't know how it can be fixed. I'm unsure.
There's ways to fix it. They just don't have the people there to do it.
The people or the time. This isn't a 1 year fix.
This can't be fixed in 1 year. I mean,
right.
In a magic world, it probably could, but that ain't going to happen. Let's just be real. No. Everyone's like, if you hit the right guy and keep getting all your draft picks, dude, they've proven they can't get the draft picks all that great. They got one Pro Bowl pick. It was an undersized linebacker, unfortunately. Love the guy. He's a great player. Yep. But, yes, he was known for being undersized, and now he's got an injury that might end his career. You haven't,
Yeah.
like, that's not good.
Sad.
Dude, I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, I'm with you, Myles Garrett. If I was you, not from being from Cleveland, I would leave. If it's me, I'm staying because I'm just a diehard Brown fan. I don't want to play nowhere else. But he's not. He's not from here. He's from Texas. He has had no ties here besides since he's been here. And all they've done is proven him that this front office is incompetent as can be. I mean, this is my message to Jimmy Haslam. They ain't listening, but you need to listen. Look at what this regime has done. It has literally ruined what you had was a fantastic core of players that wasn't built by them, by the way. That was built by John Dorsey in a great one draft that he had.
And Sashi Brown.
These guys have ruined it. You have getting rid of the best defensive player of his generation. A generational talent wants to leave in his prime. That doesn't happen. It ain't about money. It's because he said, I want to hear your plan. Went and listened to Barry's plan. How'd that work out? I want out. Right. Every tall tale sign says that these guys are incompetent and cannot do their jobs. They're fooling them. Paul DePodesta might be the worst of all of them. If that's your chief strategy officer, this strategy sucks. It's going to drive. Like, do you see how many fans are getting rid of their season tickets? Fans are getting fed up. They're just nearly done with them. They ain't going to spend no, like I told you, I ain't spending no more money on them. It's a waste of my money. I'd rather go on vacation and watch them for free on TV. But they keep going the way they're going. I'm going to free up my Sundays and do something else. Because it sucks being a Browns fan. It sucks. All we do is endure crap after crap after crap season. And then we get a good season. And then it's a crap season. And then we get a good season. And then it's a crap season. And then it's the worst off season possibly ever. We have the greatest defensive player this team has seen in its entire history. And this is the Cleveland Browns, who are a historical team. And he wants out. And so many fans are just so upset and broken. I feel bad for them all. I'm glad I got rid of my damn season tickets. That's for damn sure. And I don't know what they're going to do. What they should do, if I'm the Haslams, I would just be like, you guys trade down. We need to get a bunch of assets and then can their asses next year and hope for, like, tell them to draft a left tackle, something almost you can't miss, like a boring pick that's just more for the future.
He did. So he missed on Jed Wills. So do you trust him?
Yeah, he'll probably pick the wrong one anyways. You're probably right. So that's screwed. I mean, I don't know what to do, Ryan. I have like zero hope for this team. It sucks. As usual, though, I'm still going to look forward to the draft because I'm a draft junkie like you. I can't wait for it. I will always like it. Even when we weren't in it, I love the draft. But yeah, and if I'm the Haslams and they did force, let's say the Haslams were the ones actually behind the whole Deshaun Watson thing, they need to come out right now and say, hey, that was us and it was on us. Because if not, you have absolutely zero reasons to keep anyone in that regime around any longer. And our main host, Kevin Arnold's around laughing, I think enjoying my banter on this team. I was pretty much doing what you can't wait to do, Kevin.
Yeah. First off, sorry guys, I'm a little late.
Okay.
Family dinner before family members leave town. I know you guys and I want to thank you guys for the great honor for Grandpa last week. Family did lose the patriarch of the family, a guy that's taught me to be a Browns fan, and I know that. Look, he would never regret doing it, and I will never regret passing that.
Well, he won't. He lived to see the good years, man.
Yeah.
Was he 99? You said, right?
98. Yeah, he was
98. Yeah, he saw the good years.
So he was in his 98th year. Still thinking about him. My sister from Seattle, my uncle from Atlanta. They both fly out tomorrow, so we kind of did a nice little get together tonight. Everybody was kind of sick over the weekend, so we couldn't do it then, so we had to do it tonight. Nice, big, hearty Texas Roadhouse meal. We're not partners with them, but I'll shout them out any single time.
Dude, I love that place.
Those rolls, baby.
Everyone knows about that rolls and that cinnamon butter.
Hey, I'm allergic to gluten, and I push it every single time for at least one of the rolls. So, and those salads are just, oh my goodness. I don't know what they do to them, but the salads are just amazing. I'm in what is right now my sister's hotel room, so I'm kind of standing because I don't got much room in here like I normally do. But I know you guys were talking about the Myles Garrett news and everything like that, and I kind of posted I have a lot to say. I kind of need you guys to say what you said, so I don't talk over or say the same thing.
Basically, we kind of agreed with him where you think if you were Myles Garrett, you'd want to leave. This regime's a joke, and they've ruined what was a great core that was built here by Dorsey. Is that about sum it up there?
That's fine.
Yeah.
Well, so I know a lot of people have gone at Stefanski. They've gone at especially Andrew Berry, and keeping those guys, especially Andrew Berry, is definitely a big question mark right now. I do take issue with Myles Garrett, and I think a friend of ours, Emmett Golden, kind of put it out there, but I was already thinking it. He's been saying this whole time, it was never about going from Cleveland to Canton, getting the individual accolades. Yeah, it was. I don't care how many times you were asked about it. You had a chance to tell people that you were always about bigger things and Super Bowls and all of that kind of stuff. You did not. So stop lying to people and saying that you were only ever about that. Also saying on Radio Road today, and honestly, there's part of me that says, Myles, you're in the good graces of everybody. We all have your back for what you're trying to do. I know that people are still hanging on to the thought process that we might be able to convince them to stay here and all that stuff. Only time will tell this offseason. I know the Browns for at least a while are going to hold firm to not trading him. Sorry, I thought you guys were frozen, so I'm just taking that second here.
You're good, just listening. You have the floor. But
I need him to stop talking, because the more he talks, the more, you're saying you're talking to LeBron, and I'm not mad that you talked to LeBron. I understand what you're doing there, but that's still kind of a sore subject for the way that he went about it. So hopefully he's telling you, if you want to go, it's your right to go, but don't do the dumb stuff that I did and make people truly hate you. And the more he talks, the more it feels all about him. And very rarely does he or anybody else mention the Cleveland fans. Where are we in this? People feel great for Myles Garrett. Michelle Smallman does a great job on ESPN on Sportsmanlike. Stop saying that you are rooting for Myles Garrett or like you're so happy for Myles Garrett. Guess what? While we agree with what he's saying, all the fans have to live this crap. And don't worry, I'm not going to drop any bombs or anything like that. That's not what this show is. But what happens to us? Why do we have to keep going through this? And there are people that aren't being talked about enough that need to have some flack put at them, because I know everybody's afraid. Everybody thinks, oh my gosh, they just do such a great job. And, oh, they're going to bring us this big stadium and all of these things. Stop caring about a stadium and care about your football team. The product you are putting out there on the field, the people you are putting in charge to put that product out on the football field. We haven't heard from you at all. And yeah, I know the owners' meetings come up in March, but you haven't said a damn word about anything. And all you care about is, oh my gosh, look at the city. Everybody hates the city because of what they're doing to us, and they're suing us. We're trying to give you what you all asked for, this big stadium where we can have the opportunity for Final Fours. And Kevin, you could possibly get a Royal Rumble or a WrestleMania. Doesn't matter when the product sucks on the field. It doesn't. And right now, there is no future. What is there to be hopeful about? I know the people like Nick Carnes and all of that, they're going to find the good in everything, and that's great if you can, but you just need to shut the hell up, because there is no good. Jay has gotten rid of his season tickets. That's how you send a message. Not some stupid parade that you then turn into a protest that turns into, like, you got to put a charity with it just so you look good. None of that crap. And I know that person is on this same network. I don't care. the time to actually send a message to this organization and the owners, Jimmy and D. Great, you won me an MLS Cup championship by being the owners down there. What have you done with the NFL? All of this, like, we're new at ownership and we still need to learn from our mistakes. That's long gone. This is absolutely ridiculous that you have a quarterback that can't play and can't actually play football anyways, who is taking up so much money on your roster. You won't admit that you have a quarterback problem. You won't admit that you have a problem on the field. No, it was just an anomaly this year. We can get this fixed. We're all going to go to work. Stop telling me about the work and actually do something. And the owners are the ones that should be talking to us. The fact that Kevin Stefanski has to go out in front of entire Browns Nation and explain all of this crap every single time is not fair. All he should be focused on is coaching the football team. Not all of this, trying to mend fences and PR, good PR, all of that. Jimmy and D, I know we can't get you to sell the team. That's totally preposterous, ridiculous. That's never going to happen. But you better answer to the fans. You better have a plan. Because right now, Myles Garrett is telling all of us, he's talked to some of you guys in the organization, and he doesn't like the plan. There is no plan. The plan moving forward doesn't make any sense. Boy, oh boy, there's a big trade just in the NBA.
I know. I just saw it. Yeah.
What the
I
hell?
was like, hold on, Kevin. Go ahead, Kevin.
Butler going to Golden State.
Yeah.
We'll get.
Okay.
That
That's
don't
a
even
big
move
trade.
the needle for me. I swear to God. I think that dude's a cancer to any team he goes to.
Yeah,
and I think the Warriors are done, and they ain't going nowhere.
If Draymond Green's not part of that deal, boy, oh boy, you have two big cancers in your organization now for Golden State. I'm just saying, guys, I've been sitting on this for a while. And again, a lot of the talk has been Stefanski, or people don't like Garrett now. They don't like Andrew Berry, or this proves why we should have gotten rid of him. And you've been saying that, Ryan, and I totally agree with you. I totally understand where you're coming from. Paul DePodesta, get the hell out of football.
Get out.
Go to baseball, or just go sit in San Diego.
Just go.
Just go. Just sit there in San Diego, have a great time, and leave us the hell alone. Because Chief Strategy Officer, what strategy is this? Lose and continue losing and lose and lose. What did you win in Oakland anyways? Moneyball, it doesn't end with a great story. It doesn't end with a championship.
Dude, he stole the thing. He didn't come up with how to do Moneyball. He took someone else's idea and tried it, and it didn't win. He wasn't even smart enough to come up with the damn thing himself. Dude, Paul B. DePodesta, like I said, he's got to go. He's got to get the hell out of here. I totally agree with you, Kevin. I said it on Twitter when these kids wanted to go down to the stadium, all 9 of them, and protest. I'm like, dude, they don't give a damn about your protest. They don't care about your thing. You know where they care is when you hit their wallets. And, of course, I understand that it's shared profiting and all that stuff, but it hurts their ego, and billionaires have ego. And when the other billionaires, the other 32 owners see, dude, you guys, what are you doing? You're literally, there's an empty stadium to a team that went to games for 1-31 run, and y'all can't get people to go there anymore. You need to do something. That's how you, like you said, that's the only way we could send a message. We need to stop going to these games, and it doesn't make us less the fans. Go home and watch the damn games. You don't need to be there, but it sends a message finally. I hope it keeps catching on. And I've seen hundreds of people that have canceled their season tickets.
Well, the unfortunate reality is that the fans are a byproduct. They don't care about the fans. They care about, like you said, their money.
Agreed.
And we have proven time and time again that no matter what product they put on that field, we are still going to support them. I mean, yeah, we're fed up, but I still think that it's a minor percentage of fans that are going to give up their tickets because they've had them for 30 years. They were their dad's tickets passed down. Like, there's a lot of history in those seats and memories in those seats. And a lot of people, no matter what, will not give that up. And I think Jimmy Haslam takes advantage of it. So I I agree that we should not be going to these games. We should not support it. But I mean, we've shown as fans that it doesn't matter what they put out there. We're going to do it anyway. So why would they care?
And we're known.
Everyone's got a breaking point, though, man.
Right.
Everyone hits a point where they're. I know dudes that like old school guys that still don't watch the Browns. They haven't been watching the Browns. Like, dude, I haven't watched since they've been after a few years after '99. They're like, why would I watch? The Browns left. They never came back. This team's a joke. And they love the Guardians. And they love the Cavs. And they give two craps about the Browns. And I frankly don't blame them. They know what it meant to be a Brown. They understood the standard it was to be a Brown. It's like the damn Steelers right down the street. We got to watch these. Oh, I almost swore. I got to watch these guys sit there year after year. The standard. Meanwhile, ours left. It went to Baltimore and never came back. And it sucks, dude. I'm so sick of this team. They drive me absolutely insane. They give us absolutely no joy barely anymore. It's far more sadness than joy. I posted a thing. I was like, I want to know what everyone thinks. Like, what kind of town should this be? Should it be a Browns town? Should it be a Cavs town? Should it be a Guardians or something else? I just want to know what really people wanted, not what it should be or anything. Frankly, I think it should be a Cavs town. They gave us a championship. They keep obviously showing that they can win, even when their superstar of all-time greatness leaves. They came back and are a championship-level caliber team. The second team should be the damn Guardians. They consistently keep winning. They've gone to World Series. They, even when they're stricken in a way that baseball doesn't make it easy for small-town teams, they still find ways to win. And the Browns just can't. They just keep finding ways to lose.
So here's my question to fans. And you can tweet at us at BTL_pod throughout the week. You can tweet at me at Kevin7, that's Kevin with an A, at Always Positive J, at Dynasty Clee. And what is the breaking point? Where is your breaking point at with this team? Because I've far surpassed it. And I said I was going to get it all out tonight, and then they were going to go in my rearview mirror. Because, like, it's just this constant thing. And people of my generation that weren't even born the year that Bernie Kosar was taking this team to AFC championships. And that was the last good quarterback here. Well, actually, I like Baker Mayfield, but we're not gonna get into all that tonight. Really, the last great quarterback here was Bernie Kosar, because he was taking you on the precipice of the biggest moment this franchise has ever seen. And we haven't seen that since. I was born in 91. That run stopped before I was even born. And yes, the team was around when I was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years old, but I didn't understand it then. When I started understanding sports, the team came back in 99, and all we've gotten is crap upon crap upon crap upon crap. We have found new ways to win. We have reinvented new ways to win. And I get all this like, well, there's nothing you can do to the Haslam's. Again, they're not going to sell it. They're not going to care. And we got Peyton freaking Hillis on the cover of Madden. If every fan would stop just, oh my gosh, they made this free agency signing, or they drafted this 5th round guy that's going to be such a great steal, and that everybody's already back in. If we stop just continuing to recycle the useless hope and all come together and figure out, what is that message? How do we really send the message of our frustration to this team so they actually understand it, and it gets through their thick freaking skulls trying to act like they're smarter than everybody else every single time, no matter what name, what person is in Berea. Instead of doing all that, we can actually come together and figure out, what is that thing? I don't know what it is right now. I don't know how we send this bigger message, but it's got to stop. It absolutely has to stop. And I get it. The common adage, guys, is when you start listening to the fans, you sit with them. Well, there's always exceptions to every rule. And I would say, as a fan base, we have seen directions this team could go in terms of picking players, signing free agents, how they structure offense, things like that. We've had pretty good generic concepts together that would have been a whole lot better than the crap that they're trying to feed us every single year. And I'm over it. I'm done with it. You guys, whatever you got to say, I'm kicking them back to the back of my mind. And if people want to come together and have a conversation how to send this bigger message, hit me up, hit us up, and we'll figure it out together.
I mean, when it comes to the team, like I said, I'm still going to watch them. I'm still going to pay attention to them. They're not going to upset me no more. That's what I have I'm just empathetic to them anymore. I'm just like, I expect you to do something stupid. And that sucks. So we have a huge draft coming up. I can't wait for it. Like I said, I'm addicted to the draft. I'm a Clevelander. And they'll always give me hope. They'll probably give me a little more hope for the season, no matter who we draft, because I'm a Browns fan. I can't help it. But I ain't getting all emotionally attached like I used to, dude. I can't do it anymore. I'm not, like I said, they're not getting any of my money. I will not give that team a penny of my money until they start showing that they can win consecutively. That's my stand with them. People have said, oh, you're not a real fan. I'm like, no, I'm being the best fan I can because I'm trying to do something different. If we continue to do the same thing over and over and over and expect different results, we're insane by definition. Like, we can't do it. But I don't know. I'm kind of done bitching about them. I knew we all had to. We had to get it out. Ryan, do you have anything you want to get off your chest?
I was just gonna say one thing that I did this past season. I stopped rooting for the Browns as a team. I'm still a Browns fan, but I started looking at them as more of a fantasy football perspective and just playing my fantasy. I'm in 9 leagues, so I just, instead of looking at the team, I just started looking at individual attributes and statistics and stuff, and then that made me a little more happier just because I didn't care if the team won or lose. I just cared if my guy did well. So I don't know, that could be one way to look at it, just to still watch the team, I guess, but not have that emotional tie.
I'm trying to take more of a reporter's role looking at the team, if that's the best way I can put it. And removing my emotion, observing them, watching them. I hope they win. I hope it all turns around. I really do. And maybe I will become the fan that I was once and can't wait to wear all my gear and buy new stuff and maybe one day go to games again. But for now, I'm saving that money and that energy for other teams. But till then, we do, like we said.
That's a good way to keep the heart and the emotion out of it. That's a good approach. And I've said, you guys know, I'm apathetic. I'm numb to all this. This is just all I've ever known. But I still care, as much as I love baseball and I love basketball, for more than just.
We all care because we wouldn't be pissed off about the Myles Garrett stuff if we didn't care.
Right.
It's down deep in us. Hey, we're Browns fans. It will always be there. It just
change it.
We're finding ways to cope with this.
Just feel the same way that we do. Actually show. Don't just tell me. Show me you feel the same way and you are doing everything in your power to fix this so we don't have to go through this again for at least a few years. Get to a point where you don't have to go through this until it's a rebuild time. Now, in terms of rebuilding, you go through the draft and all of that. Before we get into where the Cavs might go on draft day, I do want to give Ryan Moster the floor. Ryan's Diamonds. We will go with the first one you wanted to talk about tonight, a draft prospect people maybe aren't talking about, but you know a lot about. Who do you have for us tonight, Ryan?
All right, man. I'm excited. Yeah, this will be my first one of the year. I always get a soft spot for receivers, so I decided to check out some receivers this week. And I came across a TCU receiver, and it's not the guy you're thinking of. Nope, it's not Jack Beck. It's not the guy. Jack Beck was the TCU receiver who, in the Senior Bowl, became the MVP. Really heartfelt story. His brother passed away on Bourbon Street during that really, really terrible incident. And everyone wore the number 7. He played football for Princeton. But I want to talk about his teammate, a receiver named Savion Williams. Savion Williams is 6'5", 225, and runs a sub 4.5 40. Runs a sub 4.5 40. Yeah, huge. He's a former high school.
I'm sorry to interrupt. That is my favorite thing when it comes to receivers. Are 6'5" fast receivers. I've wanted one for so long. Continue on, Ryan.
You're good. He's an athletic freak. He was a former high school quarterback. He has a 10'6" broad jump and over a 40-inch vertical. Like when I tell you this guy's insane, he's insane. He's so athletic that he actually outthrew all of TCU's quarterbacks by over 20 yards. He can easily. I mean, I know he's a receiver, but he can throw. He throw football 80 yards easily. He's insane. His excellent size and speed combination, and he has a really good ball control and coordination. Guy's really good on his feet. His burst is incredibly explosive, and he has hold on, a great run after catch rate. Sorry, I have terrible handwriting. I didn't memorize all this, but the one thing he's just big. He's fast. He's everything I want in a receiver, other than one tiny flaw. He doesn't have natural hands, and he double clutches the ball a lot. He had 8 drops this last season, which is not great, but I just think this guy could be something special. There are people mocking him in the first round going to the Steelers. There are people mocking him in the 4th round. Nobody knows what this guy's going to be, but all they know is he is not just a gym rat. He's a physical specimen. One really cool thing, they used him as like a wide back, so like a Deebo Samuel role, except he's 5 inches taller, and he's crazy. He led all receivers in the NCAA with 43 tackles missed. So he forced 43 missed tackles, which is 10 more than the second highest person, which is crazy. So he's really versatile within his routes, and he has the speed to break the top. He has great separation. The only problem is those stone hands. I want to say stone, but they can be worked on.
Is he getting drops because he's doing the ball comes, and before it comes there, he's looking away and then trying to catch it?
There
was
a few
dropping the ball. You know what I mean?
I would say there are more concentration issues. I think I think he's looking more to already break out in his route and start getting those yards after the catch more than actually concentrating on the ball. There were a couple times where
because the second you said that he has yards after catch, that's why a lot of those guys, they want to get that split second head start on the next route they're going to make, and that leads to a lot of drops because and like I said, that could be fixed very easily. That's actually
I agree. And the cool thing is he can,
when it hits them in their hands, like Corey Coleman, and they just drop it. That drives me insane. That's just bad hands.
Yeah, I mean, he's dropped a few, but I would say most of them are concentration drops. I really like this guy. I personally would draft him in the 3rd to 4th round. I'm sure once the combine comes, he's going to shoot up a lot of people's boards. He's like I'm telling you, he's probably going to win everything at the combine. He's that good. Except for those hands, man. So we'll see. I think the right coaching would be great. I'm looking for him, I guess, for the Browns, but I don't know, but mainly for fantasy football purposes. And if you're in a dynasty league, I would be comfortable drafting him in the 3rd round and then be happy with that. I think this guy could be special.
So what you're saying is is this the type of guy that can really benefit maybe or possibly hurt himself in the combine? And I asked that question before you answer, Ryan, because, I mean, the work that I do, working with Cleveland Browns daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland, Bo Bishop, Nathan Zagura, especially Nathan Zagura, he knows his stuff and he will watch film all the time. But these guys talk about how, the main thing that you have to look back at is the tape. That is the main evaluator, is the tape. And all of this extra stuff is just supplemental. You're either proving what you think about a person, or it makes you rethink and go back to the tape. So he has speed, he has great athleticism, the size, all of that on tape, but he also has that inability to stay consistent catching the football. So in those gauntlet type drills, those things they do at the combine, is this the type of guy that can really either raise or lower his stock because of the combine, or is he kind of stuck where he is because of his tape?
Like you said, I think about 80% of what GMs and scouts are looking for in players are already determined on tape on the field, like you said. I think this is more of a concentration issue of him just wanting to do more with the ball without actually having it. So I look for him not to have too many drops on the combine. I think he'll shine. And if he is leading in a lot of these categories, his name's going to be a household name in a month. So that's going to help a lot. That's going to help his draft stock. I think he's going to move up. There's only one more bad thing, I think. His breakout age was age 23. This was his 5th year in college. And historically, a good breakout age for football players is 19 to 20, and usually anyone behind that, it's really hard for them to get going. So he's already, he was a 5th-year senior. He's gonna have to start off really well, I think, to produce well. I mean, he could be very good, or he could be a Hakeem Butler a few years ago, who everyone thought was going to be great and then fizzled out. He could be a Chase Claypool. We don't know. I am going to bet on this guy. I like what I see. I think the raw talent is incredible, and I think he could be molded into something really good.
Well, we can definitely. I'm trying to see if I can get the details pulled up because we're about to transition to some basketball, but I'm trying to get some details on the Jimmy Butler trade, who's going where on that, just to at least give that out. But listening to you, the way you kind of describe this guy, these are the types of players that people should be looking for, and that's why we're going to be bringing these up. And this is a guy that if he can make a name for himself, his football card could then end up being worth a lot of money. And of course, I know the people that would be able to get that to you. That is our friends at Greeny Sports Cards. And go to greenysportscards.com. They're always live every Tuesday, 7 o'clock, showing off what they got. They do NIL deals if you're a college basketball fan, especially on the women's side, as that game starts to continues to grow. Even with Caitlin Clark now in the WNBA and Angel Reese, players like that. Guess what? There are still players like Hannah Hidalgo, Paige Beckers, players like that. And so they have an NIL deal with Hannah Hidalgo from Notre Dame, one of the best players in college basketball. So they are all over the place. Greeny Sports Cards, greenysportscards.com. Make sure to check them out. We appreciate them for partnering with us. And we are doing the Darius Garland rookie card. So go on Twitter, get all the details on how to enter that contest to try to get that Darius Garland rookie card. That's a card I would love to have. So make sure you enter if you want to try to get
are we allowed to enter?
No.
And look, guys, Darius Garland is now a second-time All-Star. We have 3 All-Stars going to the game next weekend, the weekend after the big game, and there's Donovan Mitchell as a starter. Do you guys, before we get into the trade deadline, just real quick, do you guys understand or even know what the new format for the All-Star game is?
Nope.
Yeah, it's so weird, and I'm confused. I know it has to do with the Rising Stars. There's 4 Rising Star teams, and whoever wins theirs gets to play in the All-Star mini tournament or
yes.
Sure.
So with the All-Star pool that has been created between both conferences, and I'm sure this is going to change next year because I understand even to the average fan how confusing it is, but they're going to have 3 teams of 8 because there's 24 total All-Stars, 12 in the East, 12 in the West, splitting those up, and they're going to be drafted by Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith, and Charles Barkley. So those are going to be kind of the GMs of these 3 teams. And yes, the rookies and sophomores in their Rising Stars Challenge, they will have a 8-player tournament as 4-team, 8-player tournament as well on Friday night. And whoever wins that gets entry into the semis and finals of the All-Star thing. There's going to be charity involved, all of that. So yes, it is a little confusing. And how are they going to divvy up starters? And then, hey, if your team, my dad brought this up actually, if you're an all-star for the first time and your team loses in the first round, you don't get to play another game. You don't get much all-star time. You can't divvy it up like you can in just a regular basketball game. So we'll see how this all operates and see if the NBA is on to something with just some minor tweaks, or if we just need to scrap it and try something else. I give Adam Silver credit. I know it's not great ideas that we've seen so far, but I give him credit trying to at least enhance it. The NFL, for the longest time, wouldn't do much with the Pro Bowl. They've started to change things up. Right from the start, Adam Silver, when he got in, has been trying to get more out of NBA All-Star to bring it back to what it was. And to be honest, guys, I used to like the All-Star game because you saw athleticism, you saw the a dunk contest within the game and things like that. You don't get to usually see in a game. But when guys are just shooting threes, now it's just boring with no defense and you're just shooting from wherever. I'm a shooter, and even that is boring to me. But speaking of shooting, guys, the Cavs, can they use one of those 3-and-D guys on the wing? As we've always mentioned, it seems like 3-and-D, a winning player for the Cavs. Like, they should get it in the offseason. They should get it at the trade deadline. I feel like we've been saying that even when LeBron was here to give him some backup and stuff like that. Jay, do the Cavs need to make a move at this deadline before tomorrow afternoon? Or are you okay this year, them standing pat with players kind of saying, we don't want to disrupt the dynamic? And I will throw this out there. If you look at it from an organization standpoint, remember what they told you, Jay. They told you that it was the coach that needed to change. Everybody else stayed the same. Now this team wants a chance to prove that with a new coach and a new direction, they actually have the ability to contend with the best teams in the league and make a deep run in the playoffs. Should they be allowed to do that, or should Kobe Altman go out and do his job? And if he can make the team better, make it better.
I don't think they necessarily have to make a move. If they make a move, that's awesome, cool, whatever. Hopefully we don't give up much. I know that there's also, we might make a move where we lose players for not much just to get under the salary cap, because I know there's some huge ramifications if we don't do that. But as long as this core four is together and you got the main guys coming off the bench, I think they'll be fine. And who is the Hunter kid from Atlanta? I heard is rumored. Yeah. Like, that would be great if we got him. But what are you giving up? You know what I mean? It's hard for me to say, I wanted to make a move until I see the move. Yeah. Because it's all about what you give up to get,
Ryan, I mean, Karis LeVert is a name that, people are gonna ask for. They're gonna ask for something if they're gonna give a piece up like a DeAndre Hunter or Cam Johnson with the Nets, who's been rumored with the Cavs as well. It feels like Karis LeVert is one of those names, and it's not going to be enough to just do Jalen Tyson and a couple picks or anything like that. It's going to have to be one of those ancillary pieces that have had an impact this year to get you to 40-10.
Yeah, I honestly don't want to give LeVert up. He's a very, very important piece. He actually has proven me wrong. I didn't like Karis LeVert the last couple of years. I thought he was mainly for him. He wasn't a team guy. In tight situations, he would take it to the hoop, and it was 50-50. But this guy has completely turned it around with Kenny Atkinson. He is our sixth man. I think he should win sixth man of the year. I think he's that good. I don't think he's
one of the contenders for it's on his team against him.
Right.
And Ty Jerome.
Right. Yeah,
he actually is up there in the odds to win that.
Really?
Now,
I don't know if it's possible, but a guy that I would be looking to trade is not. He's not part of the core four, but is Max Strus. I don't know the contracts. I'm not really super familiar with contracts like that for the NBA, but we're playing him on the wing right now. He's undersized, especially with injuries like Dean Wade out, Isaac Okoro out. It's just not working. Especially on.
I frankly think the team was also playing better when he was injured. I
agree, and I think he's a great player. First of all, I think he's overpaid, especially for what he is. But if there's one piece that I could see us moving or would want to move, it'd be Max Strus.
Well, and to that point, I mean, you're probably getting more right now since he came back from injury. You're probably getting more out of Sam Merrill in that same spot and doing what they want Strus to do, and what Strus is known to be able to do is play that defense on the wing and knock down the open threes. I've seen moments from him that he's coming out of that funk from coming back from the injury, and the way that this team was playing while he was hurt. I mean, it's tough enough to come back from an injury, and I'm just playing heaven's advocate, as Dale Davison, our friend, always says, instead of devil's advocate. I have seen spurts where he's coming out of it from his injury. It's tough enough to come back from something like that, let alone then come into the high pace, high tempo, up and down the floor that this team wants to do. And I think he's starting maybe to see where he fits by being in that starting role with Dean Wade out, Isaac Okoro out, players like that. So, maybe Isaac Okoro would have been, it's not somebody you want to lose on the defensive side, but if he was still playing and not hurt, that might have been a name that, you could have floated out there in a trade. I'm not saying I want to get rid of him, but these are the conversations that Kobe Altman's going to have. And people are saying, well, maybe the team is just being politically correct in a locker room, saying that they don't, they like the dynamic of the team. They don't want to see anybody go, when really they understand the business and they're they're already talking about like these players that could be coming in. I think they're being very genuine about not wanting to disrupt what's going on in that locker room and how much they actually.
I actually agree with you. I don't think they're going to make a big. If they do, it's going to be so minor that it will be like, oh,
yeah.
Okay.
And it's with the Cavs, it's opposite, and the Guardians, for that matter, it's opposite of what is going on with the Browns. Like when we hear the Browns talk, it's very like, okay, but just show me. The Cavs and the Guardians have done enough to prove that they, like, when they're talking, they also like mean business. Don't just talk about it, be about it. As Jay says at the end of the show, like those teams have emulated that in the Cavs and the Guardians. So I truly believe that they feel that way. And if Kobe Altman finds a deal or has a phone call out to a team or a team comes to him, and it's a deal where he really feels like it could help the team take that extra couple steps and really contend just this year and then continue to leave the window open past that, he needs to talk to the team. This cannot be 2 years ago when the Guardians made trades that made it feel like they were selling when they were kind of in a point where they could make a couple moves, get better, and contend 2 years ago, the last year with Terry Francona, and the front office had to go to Houston and talk to them because players left that locker room that were so crucial in what they were doing and so beloved and added to the chemistry, added to the heart and the effort they were putting out on the field. It kind of feels like that with this team, but they're trying to take steps even closer, if not to the mountaintop. You need to make sure the team is aware and not a Luka Doncic AD thing where no one knew. And I know people don't believe LeBron that he didn't know, but something in me tells me like not a lot of people knew that this was happening besides Nico Harrison, Jason Kidd, Rob Pelinka, and JJ Redick. And it just all came together. You cannot do that to this team. This team is way too much together to really harm that camaraderie, that chemistry, the love they have for their teammates and their organization. If you think you can make this team better, it's okay if you do it, but make sure the team is involved in those conversations.
Right. And I think Mitchell deserves that respect as well, especially after, all the scrutiny of, oh, he's not coming here. He's going to go to the Knicks. And then he ended up re-signing with us. He definitely deserves that. And I think, we have two other All-Stars and one guy who has been an All-Star recently. They all deserve that for sure.
Dude, after that dunk last night at Porzingis, he definitely deserves it.
Right. That was crazy.
That was going to be the catalyst last night. And then, look, it's not your night when you have layups going from one side of the rim.
Dude, everything was in, out, in, out, in, out. I'm like, man, it just felt like there was a lid on the rim for him. I played in games where it's like, dude, I feel like I should make every one of these shots. And it's just, boom. And you're like, come on, I can't buy a bucket. And then it starts getting in your head a little bit. But they fought back and they almost made a game of it. But like I told Ryan, and you know this, Kevin, you will learn far more from a loss than you will win. So all I'm hoping is, it's a regular season. It sucks. I always hope we win. But learn from this and figure out how to beat those damn pesky Celtics.
Yeah.
I hate that team. They drive me crazy.
Tonight, they got to beat the Pistons because with a couple minutes left in the third quarter, they are only up
79-77.
I got 79-78, so there might be a free throw coming here.
Detroit. Yeah, you just got it.
Yeah, so they were up 9 at the half, only up 1 right now, late in the third with 1 quarter to go. Second night of a back-to-back. Not long travel, but that's still can hurt the legs. So they're going to have to find it in that fourth quarter. The way they kind of did against the Celtics, just couldn't push past them last night. Guys, it's been a great show. You guys did a great job to start it. And again, thank you so much for the kind words. The great memoriam of my grandfather last week. And I know he would want me to do it last week. It was just right to be with the family and made that decision. So appreciate you guys taking over last week. And I'm sure him and grandma and my late uncle are also looking down right now and proud of what's going on and know that we're going to have a bright future as the voice of Atlanta. We thank Greeny Sports Cards. Reach out to them, greenysportscards.com. Before we go, Jay, I had a chance to listen to it. I wanted to tell you publicly, I know that I could have called you. Your podcast, Telich Talks,
Dude.
your interview with John Telich. Learned so much more about you, and so happy and glad that you shared that. Just tell people how they can find that before we go.
You can follow John Telich on Twitter. Oh, damn it, I don't even know his Twitter handle. John Telich, you'll find him if you type it in. He'll pop up. But it's Telich Talks on Spotify. And yeah, I tell my life story. And I ain't gonna lie, man, it was not easy. It was really hard. But I heard Gabriella Cruz tell her story on Telich Talks, and I sent her a message. I'm like, believe it or not, you kind of inspired me to want to do this one day. And that's why, if you heard on our show, I told John, I'm like, I'm going to come on your show one of these days. I'm telling my story. Like, that's why all I wanted to do is either inspire someone or help someone in the need, because to hear, I hate talking about myself. Like, it's really hard for me to talk about myself. I'm not comfortable doing it. It's like my skin's being ripped off. I can't stand it. I don't like when people compliment me. Like, it's weird for me. But I thought I had to sack up and tell it how everything I went through and overcome. And I hope that anyone that hears it, they can draw something from it, even if it's just one person.
Yeah, this is a story that you need to hear, and if it resonates with you, Jay is always willing to talk to people at Always Positive Jay on Twitter. Follow him, DM him, tweet at him, whatever. I know he'll reach back, and it is a great story, and John Telich is a great way. Still, even after being retired from sports broadcasting, sports anchor, he still is a great way of pulling stories out of people. And it is an amazing thing. You did an excellent job. I want to tell you that here, even though I could tell you just on the side privately. I think everybody should know that you did such an amazing job, and everybody should go listen. So Telich Talks, I found it on Spotify, so go ahead and reach out and find it there, or follow at John Telich 8, and he has a link right there on his Twitter page. Before we go, guys, it's Women's and Girls in Sports Day. Shout out a woman or a girl in sports that deserves that spotlight right now, and I think it's best to honor all of them. Jay, I'll start with you.
I'm going with our friend, and I'm going to steal from Ryan because I know he's going to say Katie Moon. It's like I always tell people, like, she's one of my favorite guests we've had. I knew you were going to say it. I'm like, I'm going to steal it. It popped in my head first. Like, she was just awesome host, great person. I can't wait to have her back on. I think I might run her tomorrow at the Sports Awards, which I can't wait to go to. Sorry, Ryan.
Oh, good. I'll give a shout out to all the figure skaters in general that were on that plane in DC that passed away. There was a lot of women and men, but just a lot of athletes in general, and it's a really sad tragedy that happened there. So I'll do that shout out.
I'm going to say Simone Biles, but not for the reason that you think, and she's not the only name that should be on that list, but we don't have much time, so I want to make sure that we get through and still leave a little early on the show. But Simone Biles, not because of – she is amazing as a gymnast, and the acrobatics that she can do, the twists, and all of that are amazing, and she's the best of all time. But more so when you go back to the Olympics before this past one in Paris, when she openly showed that she was dealing with, some mental health issues, and she chose to take the steps best for her instead of sticking around and giving everybody a show like they wanted her to. She wasn't feeling right, and she stepped away, and she got the help, she got right, and came back, because there's a stigma still with saying that you need help with your mental health and reaching out for that. You can always reach out to us if you're having an issue. Hit us up in the DMs. I go to therapy all the time. I am working on my own mental health, and I'm open to share that. Not everybody is, and someone like Simone Biles with plenty of other female athletes, male athletes have been very open about that, and it is very important to take care of your mental health, to be at your best, to be at the best on whatever sporting surface you're on, and even for your family and the loved ones you have near and dear to your heart. For Always Positive Jay, Ryan Mosser, Peter Tellett, wherever you might be in the AI hemisphere, I'm Kevin Arnold, reminding all of you sports fans, reach out to our friends at Greeny Sports Cards, at Greeny Sports Cards. Follow them on social medias and reach out to their website, greenysportscards.com.
And check out our giveaway on Twitter right now, the Darius Garland card at VTO_pod. Go on there, like, retweet, tag, and just follow us both, and you're entered to win that 10 out of 10 mint card.
And, of course, thank you to our friends over at Big Play. Thank you to LPV Productions and everybody that has tuned in. Have a great night, everybody. Remember, don't let anyone ever tell you it's just a game. We truly love you all, whether you are a Browns fan, whatever fan you are. We truly love you all. 3,000. Jay.
Don't talk about it. Be about it.
Rye.
Browns fans deserve better.
And like we always do, and our late great friend Mike Allen always used to say, live life, all gas, no brakes. Let's meet in the studio next week, guys, and have a great show.
Yep.
We'll be back with you next Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Unless something comes up, we'll tweet that out right here on the Voice of the Land, on the Big Play Network, and Be On Air Podcast Network.